The bridal suit buzzed with excitement as makeup artists and stylists fluttered around like butterflies, but amidst the all chaos, you stood near the window, arms crossed, watching your sister Sana twirl in her pristine white wedding gown. You really want to marry that firepot who even hates to look at women? You asked, unable to hide the concern in your voice. Sana turned to face you, her eyes sparkling with an emotion you couldn't quite place. Ryan, stop calling him that. Jungkook is actually a gentleman. I have met him a few times and he's different from what people say. Different? You scoffed. Sana, the man literally runs a mafia empire and reportedly despises every woman who crosses his path. How is that gentlemanly? You don't know him like I do, Sana insisted, adjusting her veil. He's just misunderstood. Beneath that cold exterior, there's someone who has been hurt. I can see it in his eyes. He wanted to argue further, but the door opened and your father walked in, his face beaming with pride despite the tears gathering in his eyes. My princess, shall we go? The wedding venue was decorated lavishly, white roses, crystal chandeliers, and an aisle that seemed to stretch into eternity. As your father walked Sana down the aisle, you noticed Jungkook standing at the altar in a perfectly tailored black suit, his expression unreadable, cold as marble. Sana and Jungkook stood facing each other, and the priest began reading the vows. The ceremony proceeded smoothly until the moment came to exchange rings. Do you chant Jungkook take? Before the priest could finish, Sana's face went pale, her eyes rolled back, and she collapsed onto the pristine white carpet. Sana, your father screamed as chaos erupted. In the bride's room, everyone crowded around as the family doctor examined Sana. After what felt like an eternity, he stood up and removed his stethoscope. She is pregnant, she announced. Simply, the room fell into stunned silence. Pregnant? Jungkook's mother gasped. But didn't she tell you all? The doctor nodded. She came to my clinic about a week ago with a young man. She even asked me about because she said she wasn't ready. All eyes turned to Jungkook. His father grabbed his arm, pointing at him accusingly. Is it you? What are you talking about, Dad? Jungkook's voice cut through the room like a blade, his anger palpable. Why would I be? I have never even touched her. His younger sister, who had been standing in the corner, tried to lighten the mood with a nervous laugh. Appa, come on. Admit it at least now. Maybe you don't hate women after all. Shut up, Jungkook snapped before turning to the doctor. Tell them I'm not the father. The doctor nodded quickly. No, he's not. I know Jungkook quite well. The man who came with her was someone else, entirely younger, different build. Your father's face had gone ashen, his hand clutching his chest. On the bed, Sana's eyes fluttered open. When she realized everyone was staring at her, tears began streaming down her face. I'm sorry, she sobbed. I wasn't in a relationship with someone. We broke up a week ago, and I thought I could move on. I thought marrying Jungkook could fix everything. I'm so sorry, Dad. Jungkook's jaw clenched so hard you thought it might shatter. This is exactly why, he said, his voice dangerously low. This is exactly why I don't want this marriage. Every woman is the same, liars, cheaters, manipulators. He turned to his parents, his eyes blazing. You forced me into this. You begged me to save their family's reputation. And look what happened. Jungkook, please. His stepmother started. No. Jungkook's voice thundered though the room. This marriage is off. I'm done. He turned to leave, but your father collapsed to his knee, grabbing Jungkook's hand desperately. Please, Jungkook, I'm begging you. Our family's reputation will be ruined. The business alliances, everything will crumble. Please. I didn't know about Sana. Please give us another chance. Get off me, Jungkook said coldly, pulling his hand away. Wait, Jungkook's father stepped forward, his expression serious. What if Vine marries him instead? Your blood ran cold. What? No. It's perfect, Jungkook's mother added quickly. She's the younger sister, unmarried, and the alliance between our families can still happen. Absolutely not, you said firmly, backing away. I'm not some replacement bride. You can just substitute in. Your father turned to you, his eyes bleeding, tears streaming down his face. Wine, please, you don't understand what's at stake. Our entire family will be destroyed. Our company, businesses are in problem. Please understand, dear. I'm begging you, dear. Dad, you can't be serious. I'm serious. His voice broke as he grabbed your hands. Please, Wine. I have never asked you for anything, but I'm begging you now. Save our family. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you, I promise. Jungkook's parents joined in. His mother approached you with folded hands. Please, Wine. We know this isn't fair to you, but Jungkook is a good man underneath. He will take care of you. You will have everything you could ever want. Except freedom, you muttered bitterly. 1 year, Jungkook's father offered. Give it 1 year. If you are both truly unhappy, we will arrange a quiet divorce. But please, for both our families, do this. You looked at your father, who was still on his knees, his face wet with tears. You thought of your mother in the hospital, of your younger brother's school fees, of the life your family had built that would crumble to dust if you refused. This is ridiculous, Jungkook interjected. I already said no. I don't want to marry anyone, especially not her. Especially not me, you repeated, your temper flaring despite the situation. Trust me, the feeling is mutual. You're an arrogant, cold-hearted man who treats women like dirt. See, Jungkook gestured at you. She already hates me. This will never work. Jungkook, his father's voice turned stern. I have never forced you to do anything. When your mother left, I let you choose your own path. When you wanted to join the business, I supported you. But I'm asking you now, as a father, do this. For our family's honor, for the aliens we have worked years to build. Jungkook's fist clenched at his sides. Your father crawled towards you, grabbing your feet. Wine, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for putting you in this position. But please, I'm begging you as your father. I owe you everything. My life is in your hands now. The sight of your proud father groveling on the floor shattered something inside you. Tears burned your eyes. Fine, you whispered, the word tasting like ash. Wine, your father began, relief flooding his face. But I'm only doing this for you. You cut him off, your voice hard. Not for the aliens, not for the family, for you and mom and our family. Jungkook laughed bitterly. Perfect. A martyr bride, just what I needed. Jungkook, his mother passed. Several long, agonizing moments passed. Finally, Jungkook closed his eyes and exhaled sharply. Fine, 1 year, but after that I want a divorce and I want everyone to leave me alone. Thank you, son, his father said quietly. Don't thank me, Jungkook replied coldly. I'm doing this for you, not for her. The feeling is entirely mutual, you shot back. The ceremony was repeated within the hour, this time with you in Sana's place wearing a borrowed dress that was slightly too tight. There was no joy, no celebration, just grim determination and forced smiles for the few guests who remained. When the priest announced you as husband and wife, Jungkook didn't even look at you. The kiss was a mere brush of lips, cold and pre-functionary. The reception was torture. You smiled for cameras, pretended everything was fine, and felt like a puppet on strings. Jungkook stood beside you like a statue, his jaw locked tight. When night finally fell and you were escorted to his bedroom, now your shared bedroom, the reality of what you had been forced into hit you like a tidal wave. The room was massive, decorated in dark colors with minimal furniture. Everything about it screamed masculine dominance. Jungkook entered behind you and immediately loosened his tie. Let's get one thing straight, he said coldly. We might be a couple to the world, but inside this bedroom, we are strangers. Don't touch my things, don't ask me questions, and stay on your side of the bed. Your temper flared. You think I wanted this? You think I woke up this morning excited to marry a man who despises my entire gender? I was forced into this just like you were, so don't act like you are the only victim here. Oh please, Jungkook scoffed. Your father was on his knees begging me. You could have said no and let my entire family be destroyed. Let my mother die because we can't afford her treatment anymore. Your voice rose. You have no idea what it's like to be backed into a corner with no choice. I was backed into the same corner, he shouted back. By your parents' request, not by financial ruin. And a sick mother, you marched to the king-size bed and flopped down dramatically. I hate you. I hate this situation. And I especially hate men like who don't know how to respect women. Get up, Jungkook ordered. That's my side of the bed. No, this is my side of the bed. Too bad. You sleep on the couch. His eyes darkened dangerously. This is my house, my room, my bed. And I'm your wife, you countered, propping yourself up on your elbows. Legally at least, or did you already forget the vows you were forced to take an hour ago? The staring contest lasted for a full minute before Jungkook grabbed a pillow and threw it at the couch. Fine, but don't think this is over. Oh, I'm counting on it not being over, you muttered, turning your back to him. 364 days left. I'm counting too, he replied darkly. The next few weeks were a cold war. You had to wake up early to use the bathroom first, knowing it irritated him. He had deliberately leave his things scattered around just to annoy you. Meals were eaten in silence, conversations were clipped and hostile. Your father called daily, his voice filled with gratitude that made you feel both guilty and resentful. You had saved your family, but at what cost? But despite the hostility, cracks began to form in the armor. One morning you woke up early to shower before Jungkook could. You didn't realize he had the same idea. The bathroom door swung open just as you were wrapping a towel around yourself. Oh my god, you shrieked. Jungkook stood frozen in the doorway, shirtless, his hand still on the doorknob. For a moment, neither of you moved. Your eyes inadvertently traced the tattoos that covered his right arms and shoulder, the defined muscles. Learn to lock the door, he growled, but his voice was huskier than usual, and you noticed his eyes had briefly swept over you before he looked away. Learn to knock, you shot back, your face burning. He slammed the door shut, and you pressed your back against the wall, your heart racing for reasons you didn't want to examine. Another evening, you were reaching for a book on a high shelf in his study, a room you had been explicitly told not to enter. Your fingertips just barely grazed the spine when you felt a presence behind you. A tattooed arm reached over your head and pulled the book down easily. You turned to find Jungkook standing impossibly close, his dark eyes unreadable. You are in my study, he said softly, his breath warm on your face. I just wanted to read, you whispered, suddenly very aware of how close he was, how you could smell his cologne, something dark and woody. This book? He looked at the title, a collection of poetry. Something flickered in his expression. You like poetry? You nodded, unable to form words with him standing so close. For a moment he seemed human, vulnerable even, then the mask slipped back into place. Don't come in here again. He handed you the book, but as you took it, your fingers brushed his. The contact sent an unexpected jolt through you, and from the way his eyes widened slightly, you knew he felt it too. He left quickly, leaving you standing there with your heart pounding and your hands shaking. 2 months into the marriage, you overheard a conversation that changed everything. You had come home early from a meeting with your college advisor and heard voices coming from Jungkook's office. The door was slightly ajar. You need to let go of what your mother did. A male voice said. You recognized it as Theong, Jungkook's closest friend. Easy for you to say, Jungkook replied bitterly. You didn't watch your father break down, crying every night for years. No, but I watched you build walls so high that no one can reach you. Your mother's betrayal doesn't define all women. She left him there. She left us. My father gave her everything, his love, his trust, his entire heart, and she threw it away for another man, just left one day without even saying goodbye. Your hand flew to your mouth. I was 8 years old. Jungkook's voice cracked. I came home from school and half her clothes were gone. There was a note. A note. I found someone who makes me happy. I'm sorry. Jungkook. My father tried to move on. He married again, had my sister, but he could never fully commit. He kept us in separate house because he was so broken. He couldn't trust himself to build a real family again. So I grew up watching him exist in this half-life, loving a ghost who destroyed him. Tears streamed down your face as you listened. That's why I hate women. Jungkook continued, because I saw what love does. It destroys. It breaks you into pieces and leaves you bleeding. I swore I'd never let anyone have that power over me. But wine isn't your mother, Thong said gently. I know that. Jungkook snapped. I know she's different, she is stubborn and infuriating, and she doesn't take my shit. She was forced into this marriage just like I was, and instead of playing the victim, she fights back. And that scares me, Thay, because sometimes when I look at her, I feel something and I can't afford to feel anything. You backed away from the door silently, your heart in your throat. Everything made sense now. His coldness, his hatred of women, the walls he had built. The turning point came during a thunderstorm. You had always hated thunder, a childhood fear you had never quite outgrown. That night a particularly violent storm raged outside, and you curled up in bed trying to calm your racing heart. A deafening crack of thunder shocked the windows, and you couldn't help the small whimper that escaped your lips. Are you crying? Jungkook's voice came from the couch. No, you lied, your voice muffled by the pillow. Another crash of thunder, and this time you yelled. Before you knew what was happening, the bed dipped beside you. Jungkook sat on the edge, his expression conflicted. You're afraid of storms. It wasn't mocking, just a question. You nodded, feeling foolish. He sighed, and after a moment's hesitation lay down beside you on top of the covers. My mother used to tell me stories during storms, he said quietly before she left. Your breath caught, Jungkook. I heard you, he said suddenly, outside my office last week. I know you heard everything. You turned to face him in the darkness. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I know what you must think of me now, he continued staring at the ceiling. A damaged man with mommy issues who can't move past his child trauma. That's not what I think, you said softly. I think you're someone who was hurt deeply by the person who should have protected you most. I think you built walls to survive. And I think maybe I understand you better now. He turned his head to look at you, surprise evident in his eyes. I was forced to marry you, you continued, your voice gentle. We both were. And I hated you for it, for your coldness, your hatred of women, everything. But now I understand that you're just scared, and honestly, I'm scared too of what he whispered. Of this, you admitted, of whatever is happening between us because I'm staring to feelings that I shouldn't feel for someone I'm supposed to hate. The storm raged on, but in that moment, something shifted between you. Jungkook reached out hesitantly and touched your hand. This time, neither of you pulled away. I don't want to be like my father, he confessed, broken and unable to move forward. Then don't be, he said, intertwining your fingers with his. Not all love ends in betrayal, Jungkook. Your mother made a choice, but that doesn't mean everyone will make that same choice. How do you know? His voice was raw, vulnerable in a way you had never heard before. I don't, you admitted, but I know that living in fear of being hurt means never really living at all. And we have both been forced into this marriage, but maybe we can choose what it becomes. He studied your face in the darkness, and you saw the internal battle racing in his eyes. Fear versus hope, walls versus vulnerability. I don't know how to do this, he whispered. We'll figure it out together, he said. One day at a time, no pressure, no expectations, just us. A small smile tugged at his lips, the first real smile you had ever seen from him. One day at a time? One day at a time, you confirmed. He pulled you closer and you rested your head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. For the first time since this forced marriage began, you felt something like peace. Things shifted after that night. The Cold War didn't end completely, but it thawed considerably. Jungkook started leaving you coffee in the morning with a small note, just a simple "Have a good day." You started cooking his favorite meals, learning his preferences. Small kindness crept in. He had bring you dinner when you were working late on assignments. You had organized his desk when he was overwhelmed with mafia business. Conversation became easier, more natural. One afternoon you were carrying a stack of books across the bedroom when you tripped over a shoe he had left out. You stumbled forward and suddenly strong arms caught you. But momentum carried you both backward. You landed on top of Jungkook on the bed, your faces inches apart. Time seemed to stop. His hands were on your waist, steadying you. Your palms were pressed against his chest, feeling his heartbeat racing as fast as yours. His dark eyes searched yours, and for the first time you saw something other than coldness in them, something warm, something that made your breath catch. Wine, he murmured, your name sounding like a prayer on his lips. I should get up, you whispered, but neither of you moved. His hand came up to cup your cheek, his thumb brushing across your skin gently. What are you doing to me? The question seemed turned from somewhere deep inside him. I promised myself I would never feel this way, never be vulnerable, but you are breaking down every wall I built. I could ask you the same thing, you breathed, your heart pounding so hard. You were sure he could feel it. I was forced into this marriage. I hated you, but somehow, he prompted, his voice barely above a whisper. Somehow you became the best part of my day, you admitted. And that terrifies me because in 9 more months we are supposed to divorce, and I don't know if I want that anymore. Something fierce and possessive flashed in his eyes. What if I don't want that either? His grip on your waist tightened slightly. What if I want to make this real? Jungkook, I'm scared, he admitted, echoing your words from the night of the storm. I'm terrified, but I'm more scared of losing you now. You were forced to save your family. I was forced to preserve an alliance, but maybe we can choose each other now. Slowly giving you every chance to pull away, he drew you closer. When his lips finally met yours, it wasn't cold or pre-functionary like your wedding kiss. This was fire and tenderness, fear and hope, everything you had both been holding back for months. The kiss deepened, and you felt something inside you click into place like a lock finding its key. His hand tangled in your hair while the other remained on your waist, holding you close like he was afraid you might disappear. When you finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Jungkook rested his forehead against yours. I'm still scared, he whispered. Me too, you replied, your fingers tracing the tattoos on him. But maybe that's okay, maybe being scared means it matters. He smiled then, a real genuine smile that transformed his entire face, erasing years of coldness and pain. You are wise for someone who was forced into marrying a mafia king. You laughed, the sound light and genuine, and you're softer than you pretend to be, Mr. Firepot. Did you just? He looked at you in a mock outrage, maybe. You teased, your eyes sparkling. He flipped you over, suddenly hovering above you with a playful glint in his eyes that you had never seen before. Take it back. Make me, you challenged. The playful wrestling match that followed ended with both of you laughing breathlessly, tangled in sheets, the books long forgotten on the floor, and when Jungkook kissed you again, softer this time, you realized that sometimes the best love stories began with force but bloomed from choice. Stay, he murmured against your lips, not because your father begged, not because of our family, stay because you want to. You pulled back to look into his eyes, seeing all his vulnerability, all his hope laid bare. If you promise to let me in, really let me in, I promise, he said solemnly. No more walls, not with you. Thank you for watching.